Thank you for joining us on this short presentation. We're here to take a quick look at the Aurum Foundation. I don't work for the company. I'm not paid to present this information. I'm here as totally independent. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I'm not here to give you any financial advice. I'm here just to share my thoughts, my opinions. I'm here to share the little bit of due diligence that I've done. I'm just here to share how I understand the business. I've found that there's a corporate structure built into three different compartments. We have the European division, which is the Aurum Neobank, running out of Poland. They've got the Aurum Investment LLC that runs out of the Emirates over there in Dubai, where they have offices, and they have possibly the parent company. I don't know. There's a registration there from Hong Kong as well. You can see they do have registered numbers. You'll see all of those numbers available there for you too. But that's a little bit just about the structure. What's more interesting is who's behind it, who's running the show, who's the participants. And it's interesting that it's quite a global range from multiple continents. It's not one kind of country-specific company here. And we see that Leonardo from South America worked at government level on blockchain, worked with finance on blockchain. Brian Benson, the CEO, says, if there was anybody in the world I'd want to open an exchange with, it's this man. So great respect for Leonardo, and he's rolling out the exchange. He's the CEO of that division. We've got Al Risky from Asia. We've got Nicholas Kelland is from Australia, is my understanding. He's dealing with head of partnerships. We've also now, towards the end of last year, they introduced Brent and Tobias. These guys are dealing with the Venture Capitalist Advisory Board, bringing on the big accounts. And these guys have spoken on stage with the Aurum opportunity. Recently then, Bakari came in to look after the African relations. Bakari is the ex-deputy finance minister for Sierra Leone. We also had Nick Patel on board. Nick Patel is the founder of Clink Gold, if you've heard of that, and also Bank of Bullion. And they've partnered up. So he's going to deal with the real world assets. What's going to happen here is they're going to offer a gold product very, very soon. 50% of the package will be in physical metal. That's gold. Real 22 to 24 karat real gold bullion. That's what I call real money, God's money. What you have in your pocket is not money at all. What you have in your pocket is a thing called currency. It's not money. It doesn't work as money. You bring your currency to my country, buy an ice cream. The ice cream shop's not taking your money because it's not your money. You know, US dollars don't work in shops here. Euros don't work in the shops here. So each country has its own specific currency. It's not money, guys. It used to be money when it was backed by gold. But since 1971, what you have, what you think you have, that is not money. What is money is God's money, which is real money, which is gold, something with intrinsic value, something with a store of wealth, something I'm very passionate about. And if you can get physical metal, physical gold, that's part of this package that's coming up. But the other 50% goes to gold trading. So they have an algorithm that's going to trade USDC against gold, digital gold. And therefore, one will make money, one's a hedge against inflation, one's a physical metal, one's an asset. It's a beautiful package coming up. We're also going into real estate, real world assets, where 70% of the deposit will go to the developer to build out your property. 30% will go to Aurum. 10% of that will be used, my understanding is, for commissions. 20% will go into specific real estate algorithm. And the idea is, as the property is being built by the developer, the 20% in the pot will grow to possibly 100%. So in other words, there's possibilities to end up with free property, free gold. And also the third real world asset they will release will be data centers, which is also a fantastic area. That said, let's move on to the big man. The big man is Brian Benson, 51 years old, from United States, a trader with Morgan Stanley, moved into the Web3 world and got started with Binance. He's done a great job there. He was the managing director of all of LATAM, that's Central and South America, everywhere from Brazil, Argentina, the whole way right up through Colombia, Peru, right up to Mexico, right up onto the United States border. This gentleman was the MD, and Binance went from zero to $1 billion in 6 months. The section that Brian was the managing director of produced up to 20% of Binance's revenue. So he had a great job there, done very, very well, well respected. And that tells us we're dealing with a man with experience and a man with connections. If you Google him, you'll find him everywhere, from older images to newer images. Guys, that tells us there's history here. We've got Forbes speaking positively about it. In fact, Forbes invited Mr. Brian Benson to the Forbes Council. That's a big recognition. Obviously, Forbes have done their due diligence. Forbes are very good at doing these data pools. They pull all the rich lists together and create the top 100 richest people in the United States, the top 100 richest people in Asia, the top 100 richest people in Europe. They have to get these figures right. They have to report correctly. And here we can see that they trust Mr. Brian Benson to invite him to the Forbes Council as an expert in his field, an expert in his area. Then we see that Visa, through the issuing bank, has come on board as well as another partnership with Aurum. Again, that should give some kind of confidence, because I don't think Visa would partnership with anything untoward. Never mind allowing them to co-brand Visa and Aurum on the same piece of plastic. I mean, that's a big thing in itself. But now I've realized that MasterCard already on board as well. So that's a big thing as well. Brian Benson traveled the world last year, everywhere from Argentina at the blockchain conference for Ethereum, right across to the Emirates for Blockchain Week, and to Singapore for Token 2049. He was seen on stage with many, many experts. He's been interviewed, you heard in the video, by Benzingo. He's been interviewed by Cointelegraph. He's been interviewed by Blockchain Wire. He was interviewed again here by Crypto Wendy. She's the Wendy O. She's the, I suppose you would call her a social media influencer. Great interview here. Worthwhile listening to her questions, and more importantly, listen to Mr. Brian Benson's answers. Here we have him on stage with Sandbox co-founder Sebastian Borget. We've also got him next door, was the co-founder of 1inch. These are big crypto platforms, but hey, look who's sitting on this panel of experts. Mr. Brian Benson from Aurum is here as well. He was invited to the Satoshi Roundtable, another big accolade, and here he is with his arm around none other than the billionaire himself, CZ, the founder of Binance. So we are dealing with the real man. We are dealing not with some kind of actor. We're dealing with the real Brian Benson from Binance. We looked at their licenses. We saw they had a registration in Hong Kong, but no offices there. Subsequently, we learned that they have a commercial license issued by the government of Dubai. And that's as much as the due diligence that I was fit to do. Of course, I was also interested in the product range. What are they offering? They have this point of sale terminal, great device for shopkeepers and businesses, because this device will allow customers to accept Visa and MasterCard, but also cryptocurrency payments. That's a great thing for shopkeepers. They're designing these ATM machines. They've already pre-launched their exchange. What's different about this exchange is this company, and Brian Benson's willing to offer 50% of its commissions back to the community. Now, if you went and had a cup of coffee and the coffee shop gave you back 50%, how would you feel about that? Pretty good. If you went to buy a car or a motorcycle and the garage gave you back 50%, how would you feel? If you went to Binance, you were trading or you're using exchange fees and they give you back 50%, how would you feel about that product? Well, Brian Benson's offering 50% back. And once this goes live, and it is live right now, but once it goes into its full glory, it's now what we call public beta test. It works perfectly well, but I don't think they've built out the full model yet. It's in what's called public beta test, but works perfectly well since last November, actually. Now, I think this is going to become very, very attractive. I have no use for this myself. This is for people that have cryptocurrency and can trade and do all those things. I can't do any of that, but some people like to swap, for instance, USDT to Bitcoin or Bitcoin to Ethereum. These possibilities are available here. I've heard there's going to be an API for trading where you can have your own account and link in a trading ability. There's going to be lots of things developing here. Leonardo is the CEO of this division, but to get 50% back, I think that's going to be a game changer once this goes into full flow. They do have a staking product on it where you can get 17 to 20% a year. I'll say that again, 17 to 20% a year on your money. Can you tell me any bank in the world, that you can get 17 to 20% on your money? Can you tell me any piece of real estate available anywhere in the world that'll provide a yield of 17 to 20% a year? Doesn't happen. A yield means if you bought a property for $100,000 and you were able to rent that property for $10,000 a year, that's a 10% yield. 100,000, 10,000, that's 10% yield. Where would you get 17 to 20%? Where could you buy a property for 100,000 and get 20,000 a year? Because in 5 years it would be paid for. So a 17 to 20% yield is exceptional. And what's even better, it's got immediate liquidity. What does that mean? Well, property is not liquid. Very often The asset is there. There's finance on it. Very often you have to get it tidied up and viewed by a customer. Very often they'll come and look at that property and decide that they want it. It takes months to find a customer. And then you've got all the legals and the paperwork and the auctioneers and the estate agents to dealing between both parties. It might take you 6 months to sell your property. Here, 6 minutes. It's liquid. You get free Bitcoin every day added to your account, free Ethereum, free XRP, free Solana every day. Incredible product. And as I've already covered, this gold product, we're very excited about that. That should be released, I'm going to say, in less than 14 days. Let's pay attention to what's coming up here, guys. A very, very nice product. What I see here is an ecosystem. We're talking about Visa. We're talking about ATM machines, point of sale terminals. We're talking about exchanges. We're talking about products, nothing to do with trading, but they also have that division as well. I'd like you now to listen to Brian Benson himself just for a few minutes. This is part of a larger interview, but let's hear what he wants to do. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires.
Say it again, Brian.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 million.
Last time.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires.
Fantastic. So he wants to create 1,000 millionaires. And first time I heard it, I rolled my eyes. How's he going to do that? Well, he's already done it when he worked over at Binance. He saw so many people creating wealth in those days. But now, as CEO of Aurum, because at Binance, he was only MD, he was only managing director. But here, as CEO, he wants to do it again. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires and generate $1 billion brand.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's, hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
I love that sentence. I think what we have here at Aurum actually is very similar to when I started at Binance. So it tells us that this guy's starting to feel the momentum, feel the energy, feel what happened back. And, it's a bit like a deja vu. Wow, I remember when I worked at Binance, we had this growth, we had this seriousness. We created $1 billion brand, we created 1,000 millionaires. He says, I think what we have here at Aurum actually is very similar to when I worked at Binance. So to hear it from the man himself, I think everybody needs a visionary leader in life, somebody visionary to follow, like the likes of an Elon Musk, the likes of a Bill Gates. These massive, big thought thinkers. Like what did Bill Gates want to do? Put a computer in every house? What about this gadget here? Isn't this incredible that that's essentially a computer? It's not a phone anymore. It does everything for you. So Brian Benson is the visionary leader, the CEO of Aurum, and a very humble man, a man that's not going to be draped in gold and fancy suits. This man travels, he works hard, he travels the world building his brand. To get started, it's a $20 business. Now, don't treat it like a $20 business. Treat it like a $200,000 business if that's the type of income that you want to generate. This is a subscription-based model. This is all you're allowed to promote, is the platform, the website. It's like promoting a YouTube video or promoting Amazon. They have, all of these companies have affiliate programs. Binance have an affiliate program, but you're not licensed to give any financial advice, so please don't do that. You're not licensed to sell any securities or investment products. Don't do that. What you can do is promote the website, and if the customer wants to engage, if the customer is willing to pay their $20 subscription, then the customer is dealing directly with Aurum, not you. You see, you don't have any Visa cards to supply. It's Aurum. You don't have an exchange to allow a customer to engage. It's Aurum. You don't have any AI agents or point of sale terminals, or you're not developing any ATM machines. It's Aurum. So that's how it works. You're just promoting the opportunity for $20, However, the customer then engages directly with the company. Now, everything we've talked about so far has been like physical products. This is physical. ATM machines are physical. Point of sale terminals are physical. Gold bars are physical. Data centers are physical, real world assets, but they also have a range of digital AI agents. This is probably their best product, according to those I've spoken to. It's called the EXI bot. It's been around for 3 years, so that's good news. We've seen evidence that the first deposit to this was on the 11th of January, 2023. Now, it started with $1.5 million. We know that as well because we saw the first deposit put into the EXI bot. And as of the 1st of February, 2026, there was 77 million. As of the 1st of March, 2026, there was 90 million trading in the EXI bot. January's profits is 11 million. February's was 13 million from memory. And the average performance across the period has been about 17.5%. Back in 2023, it wasn't smooth. It was up and down. It started like maybe one month did 9%, maybe another month did 18%, the next month down to 12%. It was choppy, up and down, not very consistent. It was profitable, but not consistent. In 2024 results, and what we see here in 25 results, it's fairly consistent. 15, 17, 17, 17, 17, 16, 17, 18. I call that very, very consistent profits. As the company makes 17.5%, they don't give that to their customers. They profit share. A lot of trading systems work that way. Usually it's a 60-40 or a 70-30. At the higher level, you might get that 80-20 kind of business. But here's how it works. Let's say you wanted to try somewhere between $100 and $250. Those customers are enjoying in around 10% a month. For those customers that can do more than that, let's say between $250 and $1,000, those customers are benefiting to the tune of 11%. For those of you that can do somewhere between $1,000 and $2,500, those guys are getting, I'm told, about 12%. And you can see yourself, the larger the account, the better the potential benefit, the better the potential rewards to your own account. Now, again, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you that past performance does not indicate future results. Nobody on this call can tell me the price of Bitcoin this day next week. You just don't know. But we can look at what's happened at the past, and we can see historically how well it's done. And these are historical results. Now, I was able to get my hands on this small account. It was only a $500 deposit. And the account was created, can you see on the left side, on the 17th of September. I now want you to look at the right-hand side on the bottom corner. This screen grab was taken on the 17th of September. So if it was started on the 17th of April, and we're now looking at the 17th of September, we can see in those 5 months that this account made $382. Started with 500, the profit element is only 382. Now, that didn't impress me because $382 in 5 months would not feed my family. However, when I did the maths, it was sensational. You take the profit of 382, you place it on top of the 500, you divide the bottom number into the top number, that gives you percentage, 76% in 5 months. You won't get that in any bank. You won't get that in real estate. You won't get that in gold bullion. That's incredible. You won't get it at diamonds. You won't get it at oil. 76% for a small account. I thought it was sensational. The next account I was able to get my hands on was a larger account. This account was funded with $10,000. However, I couldn't see $10,000 anywhere. All I could see was $12,360. And that's because we're looking at the 16th of May. So the account was created on the 10th of April, but on the 16th of May, bottom right, you can see this account had made $2,360 in 5 short weeks. $400 a week, I suppose. 5 fours is 26, $600 a week. Is that right? 6 fours. No, it's 5 weeks. Apologies. If it had been a month, it would have been about 600 a week. It's not a month. It's 5 weeks. So very, very profitable. We were able to track this account last year and just watch it grow because, again, past performance isn't indicative of future results, but it's nice to see how the account has grown. The next time we saw it was the 24th of June at 138. It is the same account number. We can see the digits 1972. We can see it's the same start date, 10th of April, but look what's happened. The balance has gone from 12,000 to 15. It's made another $3,000. On the 10th of July, it had made another extra $2,000 up to $17,000. And then after 4 months, this particular account doubled. Now, I know why it's doubled. It's because this reinvestment button has been turned on. This is a choice of the customer, not of the company. You decide if you want to reinvest or not. If you do choose to reinvest, what you're committing to is that the profit you earn today will remain inside Binance with the principal amount, and the profit and principal will trade together in a compounding effect. So if you were trading $100 and you made $10 and you didn't take that $10 profit out, the next day you're trading $110. You're actually growing your account to get that compounding effect. That's why this account has done particularly well. I will tell you that when you open an account with this company, this button is not on. And I will tell you, if you're brand new listening to this, if you had 30 minutes on the website to find that button, you probably wouldn't know where to find it. Okay? So if somebody told you where the button was, then you could find it quite easy. But without knowing about it, that means all of your profits are going to your wallet to withdraw. You can take out your money every day. That was one of my questions. When can you take out your money? You can take out your profit every day. My next question was, well, what do you charge to take this out? Because I've seen some platforms charging 10% to withdraw money, 1%. I thought that was quite fair as well. So profits can be taken out every day. The withdrawal fees are 1%. And there is the ability to either compound or not, but that's the prerogative of the client. I'm not here to give you any advice what you should do. People would ask, well, how can they make so much money? This is an aggregated website called CoinMarketCap. It's very well known. It's quite well trusted. And what CoinMarketCap do is they pull the data from all the different platforms. They go to Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, KuCoin. They take the average price of all coins and they publish it here on a live basis. So in the last 24 hours, you see that 24H is 24 hours. The percentage gain on this one coin, number one, did 2,000% in 24 hours in one day. Look at Elevate, did 800% in one day. Look at Pepe Trump, did 400% in one day. So when we hear about Aurum doing 10 to 15% a month, that's like half of 1% a day, half of a percent a day, not 500% a day. When you see these kind of numbers and you understand the volatility of cryptocurrency, then you can say, well, okay, there is a possibility that this is real, because that was my concern. How can they make so much money? But when you see this, it's a fraction. Imagine the AI was smart enough to pick up one of these. Imagine getting 2,000% in a day. Crazy. Or 400% in a day. But it doesn't do that. It doesn't trade futures. It only trades spot. Now, moving on, that is the EXI bot. They have 7 or 8 of these bots, maybe 8 or 9 of them now. I can't tell you about them all in this presentation, but the other one is called the Pro bot. There's other ones called the Zeus bot. You can find out more about those yourself. I just wanted to feature a little bit about the CEO, a little bit about their key product. And the last thing I want to finish with is the card. Now, this card is incredible. It requires presently no KYC. As regulations are moving, it may be some point in the future where they do require to have KYC. But here, for this particular card, it's called the Infinity card. They don't ask for a driving license, a passport. They don't ask for a bank statement. I thought that was quite strange. Why are they not asking for this stuff? But obviously the issuing bank, which is a regulated bank, have offered this card to Aurum. So however they're doing it, very smart move from Mr. Brian Benson. Probably only somebody like him could pull something like this off. They're going to have 4 cards available. 2 will require KYC and 2 are available without KYC. It does work on Apple and Google Pay. It's up and running. People have been using it since June last year. So it's been working for quite some time. There is a virtual card, which is easy to get. The physical card is difficult to get. I believe you only can pick these up at live events and stuff that they run around the world. I know there was an event in Dubai where everybody in the audience got one of these. So anyway, that said, you can find out more from the person that shared this with you. But I'd like to show you the card operating. This was the second transaction ever done in the United Kingdom. John stopped his trading bot. He sent the profit onto the Visa card and went to the shop to test it. Here he goes.
Here we go then. Second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Mina.
Thank you.
There we go. So even if you didn't want to do any trading at all, you can import your cryptocurrency from wherever you have it. I don't know, Trust Wallet, Exodus, Coinbase, Token Pocket, MetaMask, Binance, any of those exchanges. You can move your USDT into your Aurum account, press top up, and it goes onto the card, and then off you go to the shops without having to find somebody to cash you out, without having to find an exchange. You can do it all from home with this particular system. Now, for those of you that do like the trading products, you can stop the trading. You can send the profit onto the card and off you go spend your money. And for those of you interested in the affiliate program, you can take your commissions and top up card and on goes your money. So there are lots of use cases for this. And the good news is, for those of you that promote the business, you get paid when people go shopping. So if one of your customers had a card and they went and had a coffee tomorrow, you make some money. If they withdraw money from the ATM machine, you make some money. If they go and buy clothes online, you make some money. If they book a flight, you make some money. So they have lots of products that have nothing to do with trading. You know, the ATM machine, the point of sale terminals, the card, and many, many more products. So it's a big ecosystem I see here developing from this company. I'm going to show you now somebody using the card at an ATM machine. This customer is from India. It's been tried around the world. People were on cruises and jumping off in multiple countries testing it. But this particular transaction occurred in India. The machine writes and talks in English, but the gentleman describing it is speaking in Hindi.
हेलो दोस्तों, आप मेरे हाथ में ये कार्ड देख रहे होंगे, औरम का वीज़ा कार्ड। और मैं आज इंडिया में पहली बार एटीएम से इससे कैश विड्रॉल करने का प्रोसेस कर रहा हूं और देखते हैं ये किस तरीके से काम करता है। ये बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से काम कर रहा है जैसे नॉर्मल अकाउंट एटीएम करते हैं। और मैं फ़िलहाल केवल 500 रुपीज़ इसमें से विड्रॉल करने की कोशिश करता हूं और मैंने ये दबा दिया और ये बोल रहा है कि आप कितना कन्वर्जन के साथ आप किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। और मैंने इस पर कंटिन्यू कर दिया और ये इसमें कैश विड्रॉल मुझे अवेलेबल करा रहा है, जैसे कि आप देख ही रहे होंगे। इसने बोला कि आप अपना कार्ड निकाल लीजिएगा। मैंने अपना कार्ड वापस ले लिया और ये मैंने 500 रुपीज़ आज फिलहाल विड्रॉल करके पहली बार ट्राई किया और ये सक्सेसफुल हुआ। थैंक यू।
Acha Admi, that's Prashanti from India, and I've been told that the physical cards are difficult to get, so don't rely on postage. I know in the Emirates there's I suppose communication and transport challenges in that region, but the virtual card is available immediately. It works on your smartphone. You just link it up to Apple Pay or Google Pay, so you don't need the physical card. You can actually work away with the digital version. So that's up and running. With that said, guys, that's the presentation over. I'm going to take 5 minutes to show you the affiliate program. People have been asking to see that. Affiliate programs are very popular. As I said, Binance have one, Crypto.com have one, Amazon have the best one, Tesco in Europe, in the UK, they have an affiliate program. Apple have an affiliate program, and Aurum have decided to have one as well. In this particular affiliate program, there are 15 ranks. The first one is Nova. What I like about it is it's free. It doesn't cost any money. For those of you that have a neobank account with the company, they do offer you an affiliate link in your back office. You either decide to use that or not. There's no obligation. You don't have to tell anybody about this. You can keep it a big secret if you wish. For those of you that do share your affiliate link and somebody registers and they order, let's say that first product, that EXI bot that we took a look at, you get a 3% handshake. It's a thank you bonus. Now, how can they afford to pay you 3%? Well, because they didn't pay the Super Bowl like Crypto.com millions of dollars. They don't pay TV or radio. You can't explain this in a 30-second commercial. It's taken me half an hour. So you can't explain it. So therefore, if you make a referral, they'd rather pay you instead of paying Google ads, Facebook marketing. They pay you the marketing budget. It comes from their marketing budget. Every company, Coca-Cola included, have a marketing budget for their business. Coca-Cola could pay up to 50% of what they make back in marketing and advertising. This company don't. They keep 18% aside to pay the affiliates. That's how it works. Now, you can have one customer, you can have two customers, you can have 20 customers, you can have 20,000 customers. It's a one-tier affiliate program. Very, very simple. If you'd like a pay rise from 3% to 5%, you've got to make your way up to Voyager. To become a Voyager, what's required is 7,500 of total team trading Now that's total team customers, not just your customers. You might have 2 customers and they might only do $100 each. But if they told a customer and they told a customer and they told a customer, just like Facebook expands, if your community expanded, when 7,500 is in trading from all customers, you get promoted to Voyager, you get 5% on your own customers' deposits. But if a customer introduces a customer, they'll get 3, you will get the difference. The difference between where you are as Voyager getting 5, the new guy that brings the customers getting 3, so you get the difference. You get 2% on every deposit, on every customer to infinity generations in depth. In addition to that, you get $100 instant bonus. You don't have to ask for it. It arrives in your account immediately. And in addition to that, you get what I call a daily matching bonus. Every single day, as your customers make money, you make more money. That's right. All of our customers are making money every single day. Customers that got paid today will get paid again tomorrow. Every single day they get paid, you get 5%. Now, let's say I was your customer and I made $100 tomorrow. You get $5. Let's say I made $100 the next day. You get $5 on every customer to infinity generations, as long as you're the only Voyager. But let's say I make $200 on the 3rd day. You get $10. You get 5% matching bonus on the profits of all customers to infinity levels and deep. If you'd like a promotion from 5% to 7%, you need to make your way to Vanguard. To do that, the $7,500 needs to grow up to 25.5 of total trading volume. You need to find 2 Voyagers, but here's the good news. You don't need to introduce them yourself. They can be anywhere in your team in depth. As long as they're in 2 separate lines, that you qualified. You get a $500 instant bonus. You get 7% on deposits, and you get 7.5% every day matching bonus. Now, you'll get that matching bonus on open volume. But let's say your Voyager was on the 4th generation. It would mean you get 7.5% on your own customers' profit every day, 7.5% on the next customers, 7.5% on the next, and then here comes your Voyager. You'll also get 7.5% on the Voyager's account. But now the Voyager's qualified, they're going to get 5% on all of the rest of the team. You get that difference. You get a 2.5% override on that Voyager's business the whole way down. On everybody else that's not a Voyager, you're getting 7.5% on every customer's profit every single day. Incredible. Now, if you want more, it's just more of the same. It's to get 9%, you need a little bit more volume and a little bit more structure. If you want 12%, a little bit more volume, a little bit more structure. And you might have heard me say there are 15 ranks. Well, that's 7 of them. The next one is Elite. Those guys are getting a $20,000 bonus. For anybody that hits the magnet level, there's 50,000 cash bonus. Mythos 100. Legends 150,000. We had a young gentleman, 33 years old, got 150,000 3 days ago. He hit that bonus. Never in this industry before, never built a team before, started in August 25. He got that bonus. Of course, he had all of those as well. And then if you want to be one of Brian Benson's millionaires, I have no doubt anybody that reaches the rank of Dominion with this $500,000 bonus on top of all those previous ones, I have no doubt you're one of Brian Benson's millionaires. Don't roll your eyes like I did. Don't laugh at the possibility. It's been done. It's been done by several people already in the pre-launch phase, and it's been done in less than 12 months. The company is the same company for you as it is for those guys. The products offered are the same for you as it is for those guys. This compensation plan is the same for you as it is for those guys. God gave you 24 hours every day as he gave those guys. Everything is equal. The difference between your success and their success is sitting on your seat right now. It's down to you. Nothing to do with your parents, nothing to do with your introducer. It's down to the time, the effort, the professionalism, and your own personal development. Don't be misled that high earnings are easily achieved. No, there's people sitting in front of their computers 5-6 hours a day building their business. And then there's other people showing up for one Zoom for an hour once a night and bringing no guests. That does not build a business. If you're serious, this is very serious for you. If you want a bit of fun, there's a bit of fun here too. Some people are happy with $100 a week. An extra $400 a month will save some marriages. An extra $400 a month will help pay the groceries. It'll help towards the mortgage or the rent. That's fine. There's other people who want to make $100 a day. That's here as well. An extra $100 a day is $700 a week. Very, very nice income. an extra 2.5 or 3,000. So don't believe in, if you don't have the concept, you believe in the big numbers, believe in what you think you can do here. But of course, if you want $1,000 a day or $30,000 a day, that too is available, and that too has been achieved by people in this community. I'm going to leave it here. I'm not here to give you any financial advice. I'm just here to discuss my opinions, my feelings, my understandings of the program, that it might help go some way towards your own due diligence and your own decision to do what's right for you and for your family. With that said, we're going to wrap that up. Thank you so much, everybody. I wish you every success in your decision. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, and have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye.